concerned about trouble and trying to be responsible, one-sided news stories.
Of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Hey everyone, Dave here, December 1773. With me as always is Ryan. This is episode 47 of The Weekly Show, all the week's hottest topics with a twist. I don't want the show to go for 2.5 hours, so we're going to try and get through this somewhat quickly and efficiently. Hope you're hanging in there. It was a crazy week. I mean, so much stuff is going on. It's insane. And even though I want to get right into it, I do have a quick story to open, and I don't do this very often, but in the car, Sirius XM 9, Channel 9, 90s on 9, not my favorite station. However, Coolio's Gangster's Paradise came on. Are you familiar with this song? I'm sure you are, and everyone is.
I'm a 90s kid, yeah.
Do you remember when Weird Al did a parody of it and Coolio lost his mind? Like, he freaked out?
Yeah.
The reaction to that back then was pretty much everyone just making a mockery of Coolio at that point. Like, oh, shut up, Coolio. Quit being a baby.
Okay.
I almost wonder, I was thinking about this, do you think it would have gone differently in today's age? Do you think this would have been cancel culture? Weird Al Yankovic would be apologizing for some stupid nonsense?
Well, they've canceled Steven Crowder. He's kind of like the extreme, same kind of thing.
I'm not a huge, I'll be honest, I grew up in the 90s too, and I'm not a huge fan of the 90s in general. But that's something we need to go back to. Everyone just totally mocked Coolio for being a little bitch about it. Who is in already? 2 seconds in.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
The studio is sacred.
The studio is sacred.
Can you just open your curtain a little bit though so I can see?
I'm not opening my curtain a little bit so you can see. That's not how it works.
Look,
how's this?
This has been very productive. It's going to be a 2.5 hour show, despite what I just said. Already a hiccup. What are we? 3 minutes in?
Fucking
I
off
didn't
the
even
rails.
do anything.
Exactly. You didn't have to.
Yeah. Anyway,
maybe I should debate angry feminists. You know what? That might be my next endeavor in life.
That should be part of the Misogyny Pro Guy podcast.
Just go out and life.
Are you aware of Ryan's show that's going to be coming out later this year? It's going to get a shutdown for sure. Ryan wants to do a, quote, pro-guy podcast, which inevitably will be filled with Ryan's misogyny and anti-feminism, which will be tremendous, but at the same time, certainly this will be our last year of filming. Yeah,
I actually had a thought in the car, not to piggyback on all your shit about the way world was. Do you remember all these Democrats and stuff saying, do you remember that the middle class used to be able to go on one income and support a family, right?
Yeah.
Like they always say it's back in the 50s.
Yeah, I wonder why that was.
Yeah, it's weird because the very foundation they try to erode is what built the middle class magic story that you're always referencing. Like the mythology that you have of this lifestyle was provided by religion, was provided by this, like, provided by a constitution, provided by God. Like, it's kind of weird, man.
Also provided by the fact that only half of the country was employable at that point.
Yeah, I don't think women should be in the workplace. Moving on, let's go.
Okay, we're shutting down. Yeah, let's just get in this before you get us canceled. Headlines. WHO advisory board member admits China was engaging in massive cover-ups on COVID-19 origins. Imagine that.
Shocking. I wonder why they would want to cover up the fact that they may have had. Let's use the conspiracy theory. Oh my God, this is
okay. So they being China, right? This is what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. But don't you also see why maybe we now may have wanted to cover that up also, since I don't know, we were involved in funding it.
I know exactly why they want to cover it up. This is like literally, it's like the Hegelian dialectic or whatever, like that. You fund both sides of the war that's happening. That's like what the fuck's going on here. Just like, I don't know, mass scale.
Yeah, it's
but
exactly the same. Now,
yeah, just like the Cuomo, the governor of New York killing people with his policies, Fauci and these lab people and all these other. I don't know why we're even trying to believe communists. This doesn't make sense to me.
And note that the headline read WHO advisory board member admits, not the WHO.
Yeah,
so this was one secret member who will end up suiciding themselves.
Yeah, that was a guy familiar with the matter that they quoted back a long time ago that they can't even say his name. So I'm sure he's in a Western country making these claims, not where he fucking came from over there.
Not to get too off topic, but I also read that somebody who was involved in one of the Clinton lynch stories on the tarmac, they suicided themselves recently. I'm sure it's
people. I swear to God, man, they question your critical thinking. Like this is really the year of the Matrix. We're in the year of the Matrix, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure all these deaths are on the Clintons. Coincidence.
It's just coincidence. Biblical coincidences.
So this is somewhat related to that, and the next one is somewhat related to this.
It's weird. He had gunshot wounds to the head, and then he got ran over by a train.
COVID death toll suddenly drops 25% when California county officials make one policy change. The policy change was they only equated deaths from COVID if they were the immediate cause of death, not if they also had COVID and got eaten by a shark. 25%. It's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like what's the fraction? Like one like a fourth. Oh yeah, like a fourth. That's weird. A fourth of everything? Wow, that's weird. That sounds like a lot more than 25%.
I'm sure it's only just that one county though. It's a one-off. I'm sure if you did the whole country, it certainly is not 25%. Yeah,
it might be like 75%. For those counting at home in apples, it's 3 out of 4 apples. It's such a better, dude. This is what I mean by like they control language, right? Because instead of saying 25%,
doesn't sound very.
No. But if you say 1 out of 4 apples, like in your head, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of apple. Because you can visualize 4 apples, and then eating an apple, you're like, wow, I only got 3 left. Like, dude, that's how they fuck you guys. I'm serious. You're the Matrix, man.
More COVID news, and I'm sure this is just total nonsense. Headlines: House Republicans demand Facebook documents after Fauci emails link him directly to Zuckerberg.
I'm sure they're going to give those up.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Oh!
I almost wonder
if that's crazy. It's like an avalanche of truth, like just under this very... Do you realize that it's warm outside, right? People that's another thing I'm factoring into this. It's warm outside. People are having parties and picnics and getting vaccines so they can go do whatever.
Do you think Zuckerberg related to the Fauci emails has anything to do with the fact that we're shutting down COVID stories? Or put a big stupid COVID thing underneath anything you post that has COVID in it?
Yeah, it's a good idea, David. And to go even further, I wonder if they got these systems from another country that they probably do something all the time in. Like
China?
Oh, that's the one! That's how YouTube already had this. Do you think Instagram came up with that shit on the fly? Nah. They've had this. This is just like the un-American file fucking filter that they put on the whole app. Fact checking, like I said, fact checking didn't exist when I started live streaming videos. They couldn't like fucking censor me.
No, it really didn't, and that wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. 2016. Crazy.
Believe it or not, I have more COVID news. I thought COVID was over, but this is tremendous. Now that it's ending, all these stories are coming out. It's very weird.
Amazing.
Headlines: A fully vaccinated cruise set to set sail in the Caribbean. 2 passengers tested positive for COVID.
Well, they got vaccines. Wouldn't they all test positive for COVID, Dave? They have COVID inside.
No, that's not how that works. They should ideally none test negative for COVID.
All right, so let's shut everything down because 2 people got it.
Oh, we probably should. They were on a cruise too.
Yeah, how many people were on there? Like 1,000 apples, and only 2 of them got sick.
I don't know how many people. See. I'm not one of these rich 1%ers. How many people are on a cruise?
I don't know.
A lot. It's got to vary, but I mean, is it thousands of people? How many people go on a cruise?
I don't know, dude. Some of them ships are pretty big.
Like, would it be 1,000 people?
I would say 1,000 people fit on a cruise ship.
Should we look this up? What's the average?
Yeah, what's like a... Tell her to hush up, men are talking.
Ryan is going to get us fucking canceled. He said,
Not only
"Hush
will
up."
I get
He said,
canceled,
"Hush up, men are talking."
I'll probably get beat up at
Your ass.
first. See? As I say that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, just if it disagrees with what I believe in the world.
Go down, throw down.
Yeah, and then I
Average
can
cruise capacity. Ships will sail varying capacities depending on itinerary or seasons. The average cruise ship passenger capacity is around 3,000 guests.
For those
hold on.
For
But
those
some of the bigger ships can be 6,300.
So 3 and 4 times, like 5 times the amount of things we thought.
Yeah,
5 times the amount.
That's a lot of people.
It's a fuck ton of people, dude.
Now that we've wasted time on the show that we were worried about time on, Googling how many people go on cruise ships, the next one here is probably not very surprising. Headlines.
Oh, for real though, do you shut everything down off fucking one? Yeah, I'm cutting off a headline segment.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't. Are you asking me if I would? No.
Yeah, no. You said that about the economy too, and
Today we watched it happen for a year.
Yeah, nothing bad happened after they shut the economy down.
Really?
Inflation's 5%, but.
Headlines. LeBron James is now the most hated player in the NBA, finds one study.
Did they just survey the NBA?
They surveyed the people who watch the NBA. I'll say this. As a player goes, I still love LeBron James as a player. He's tremendous to watch. Okay. I don't really care what athletes think about anything. Quite frankly, that's not why I watch sports. We've talked about this. When I watch sports, I wanted to escape politics, not to get more involved.
Okay.
But with that said, I think that's probably why he's quite hated in the NBA.
It's why Kaepernick got slack, correct?
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. Whether or not I agree with that, I think it had more to do with his playing. But chances are he'd probably be a backup somewhere if it weren't for the kneeling. Just a guess. But the other thing that's weird about that, not to get too off on the Kaepernick stuff, why are other players who are also kneeling still in the league?
Because because they spray painted things in the end zone, so it ended racism.
Oh, that's right. We did end racism through the NFL.
I also took a picture of a black box and put it on my Instagram, and that ended racism too. So,
Brian, this next one here, the only thing I could say is I hope he stays there. Headlines: Jeff Bezos heading to space after resigning as Amazon's CEO.
Yeah, if that guy was fucking smart, he would never come back to Earth. He would get Amazon space.
Would you care though if you're a multi-billionaire? Is this
the
billionaires being bored?
Yeah, no, this is
launches himself into space.
It's the whole point, people. They're fucking gonna. There's a movie called Asylum with Matt Damon. That's another movie that would never exist. Team America. God, that movie's hilarious. Anyways. It's a movie with Matt Damon, and they build a big spaceship up in space that's got all the organic life of Earth, and Earth is overpopulated, and it's a dystopian fucking science fiction.
So kind of what Elon Musk is doing on Mars.
Yeah, literally. You think they're gonna let you go to fucking Mars, man? It's like, and taxing them isn't gonna incentivize them. They're gonna do this faster.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure the guy's going up to space to just kind of check on progress on whatever the fuck he plans on doing. You think that guy's going up there to vacation? No, he's going up there to be like, you know what, when I was in space and I took my Amazon sidewalk up there and it paved my future steps for me. He's probably going to put Wi-Fi towers on fucking asteroids.
Oh, don't worry. Elon's ahead of that too. He's giving Wi-Fi to the Earth. I forgot what it's called. Is it, what the hell is that called?
It's fucking incredible. I know nothing of this. I'm just like, see, this is like...
You don't know about this?
No,
Elon Musk free Wi-Fi?
It's just incredible that, I just say some bullshit. They're going to put Wi-Fi on an asteroid and blast it to Earth. And it's like, yeah, Elon's thinking about this. We're inside. He's way over. It's in a fucking science fiction movie, man. It's crazy. It's cool, but it's crazy. Yeah, fucking Bezos is going up there, and he's like, how can I reverse engineer all these dead satellites up here and get them to fucking...
Starlink.
Oh, that's weird. It's Neuralink and Starlink. I wonder if they're going to team up sometime and have fucking Force Link.
Well, yeah, you need the Wi-Fi for your Neuralink from Starlink.
From fucking space, so I can
They'll have firewalls. I don't see what you're worried about.
I'll be walking.
This is so perfect. Speaking of computer robots going inside of your brain. Headlines. Artificial intelligence has advanced so much, it even wrote an article. Remember when we talked about robots can't create. You're gonna have to admit at some point that robots can now create.
Robots imitate creation, David. They cannot create.
What is all creation? All creation, except for the first creation, is an imitation of creation.
We're made in the image of our creation. We can never.
Wait, hold on. So are
Hold
robots.
on. Hold on.
Robots.
This is what I'm saying, though. If God made humans, we can never be God, no matter how hard we try.
We can if we make robots.
Get the fuck out of here, Dave. It's still not fair. We can't
We're creating life, Ryan.
We don't create life, David. They copy and imitate life. They take embryos, which they've said aren't people, but they are fucking people, and then they fuck with the embryo.
Like,
That's what. Like, they don't squirt. Dude, you're not driving around people's house and vacuuming cleaner and sperm out of your dick and then shoving them in a lab or something somewhere.
That sounds alien.
I mean, at least here, China's got black vans that just like Oregon don't, Oregon sweep your ass.
Did you hear anything more about China collecting DNA from all the world? Speaking of everyone in the world's DNA, have you heard more about that?
I don't know. It's weird. I wonder if some of these companies that took my DNA for COVID testing hold on to that information, and then one day it will be bought by a Chinese firmware office that's able. I don't know. Maybe they'll hack them. Speaking of hacking, how the fuck does the FBI backtrace? You remember when they hacked that meatpacking plant, and they made them pay ransom in cryptocurrency, which has a reputation for not being traceable. Yeah. Then the FBI found how they found them. They traced the crypto and found them. So I got a couple questions. Was the FBI behind the whole thing, first of all, because I'm a conspiracy theory? But second of all, how do we know more about an untraceable currency than we do about a pedophile island with a dead suspect?
Maybe...
Dude, they wrote a whole fucking article about it. Like, I read... Yeah. Dude, it was multiple paragraphs. It wasn't like a short thing. They had this fucking mapped out. Like, they had you got an island full of pedophiles president's been to and all this other shit. Nothing. The woman got a black eye in jail and he died. Oh, that's odd.
Coincidence. Just like the Clinton person, just suiciding themselves. Cryptocurrency being untraceable, I don't care what anyone says. Any transaction is traceable. I know they say it isn't, but just because it's not physical currency doesn't mean it's not traceable. Speaking of cryptocurrencies, this is just working out. Headlines. El Salvador became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta go invade those motherfuckers. Shut them down.
I think we should move there.
Let's go.
Doja's next.
A friend of mine were actually talking about that. He's like, it's pretty cool that the idea of us having our own currency is actually like tangible. Because that's really what it is. It's everybody taking their U.S. dollars and exchanging it for like monopoly money.
Well, it's just exchange monopoly money for more monopoly money.
Shut up, David. That's not tangible. What's this backed up with? Taxes?
We were talking about Barack Obama and his weekly phone calls to the Biden-Harris administration.
Biden-Harris Obama administration.
Headlines. Barack Obama openly suggests the Republican Party is, quote, rigging the game. And, yeah, I mean...
They rigged the game but lost the election? Does that fucking make any sense to you?
We rigged the game to lose. We have them right where we want them.
Yeah, right, exactly where we want them. A third of the country feels so desperate they apparently assaulted the Capitol on the worst day.
We really went for it.
Democracy. Attack on democracy.
When they rigged it, they really went for it. They gave up the education sector. They gave up social media and media. They lost a presidential election and gave up control of the House and the Senate. They really rigged it pretty well for themselves. I think we got them pretty good now.
A lot of rigging.
There's a lot of rigging going on.
There's a term for this. It's been in, I don't know, like political books. Yeah, I don't know. It's called newspeak and doublespeak, people.
What can you possibly point to and think the Republicans rigged it?
Well, they're trying to say, I'm assuming with like the voting laws that they're trying to like make it, I don't know, halfway. Like if I have to show more proof to get to a fucking concert than I do to vote, problem. I have to show more proof to buy an alcoholic beverage at my local Tops than I do to vote. I don't even show them anything. I tell them who I am. They're like, okay, go to this person with a folder that just has paper.
And then you just mark a thing and put it in a machine and you never see it again. It seems
It's weird that
seems good
it's weird that I take the paper thing and turn it into digital when there's fucking, you can't hack those, but you can hack everything else. You can hack oil pipelines, which one is that? And then a meat packing plant and get money out of cryptocurrency and then get it back through digital means. Like, wow, it sounds like a lot of easy work instead of counting in paper ballots. This is so ridiculous, dude. I hate these people. I really do. I really I think the people that follow this, I don't blame them, but for real, like this is why we got to talk like history, man, of politics and religion.
Yeah. Well, this also points to the critical thinking you're speaking of.
Yeah, it's like they question your critical. This is the year of the Matrix, man. Like for real, they question your critical thinking, and just because we think we can fucking plug ourselves into whoever we want to back and forth our information, it's pretty crazy.
I know you saw this because you commented on a post that had a similar headline. But I thought this was quite interesting, and if only someone had seen this coming. Headlines! Chipotle raises menu prices to offset employee wages.
Oh, congratulations! I saw people celebrating this.
I celebrated this. Well, first of all, I don't go to Chipotle, so I don't care either way. But, no shit.
Yeah, well, right. That's how we're gonna celebrate it. But no, people are like, yeah, they should pay him more during the pandemic. It's like, no. Do you think they willingly want to make things cost more money? Isn't that counterproductive to human psychology that you want to get the best quality for the lowest possible price? So when things go up, doesn't that defeat the fucking psychology of you buying something?
Ryan, what you're defining is economics.
This is fucking ludicrous. No, that's critical. It's not even economics, Dave. That's critical thinking, David.
I don't know why they... I don't know. I don't know why anyone would think that's ludicrous. A good thing.
People are applauding. Yeah, they should pay him more money. But like, okay, let's suspend my disbelief here for a second and say that is true. Do you think they're doing this willingly? Like, really ask yourself that.
Well, they're doing it because they have to.
Exactly.
It's
David.
Literally profitability or bust. That's what a business is.
Yeah, it's like, hey, our costs went up 30%.
And inflation's up 5%. So now your inflation's up, your costs are up. So your $10 burrito is $15. People, and the other thing people don't understand, which is things that we have been pointing to for years, and we see it happening in other places like McDonald's, but eventually minimum wage is going to drive out low-skilled workers. Because at some point, it's not worth paying them.
I feel sorry for low-skilled people.
I do, because there's nothing they can do, and there's no way to get an entry-level gig, earn some skills, work your way up, because you've priced yourself out of the market.
And people, for people who don't think minimum wage skills get you higher ability to get higher skills, it's a lot. Like, you're introduced to working ability, the way things are. I mean, I'm not saying you got to go to McDonald's, but there's some factories, there's some, we got an automotive, you know, you can go detail cars, you could be a car washer, like, that's the path we fell into. But there's electrical unions, there's all these people will pay you little. You know, if there was no more lower minimum wage, that's a whole different issue. But it's, yeah, man, you get priced out of the market, and then at some point you get looked at. And to be honest with you, if you're in a minimum wage position, if you don't utilize that thing and build it like a ladder and get into management, like a manager at a fast food place, that's when you can take that skill and go other places. But if you're just a fucking burger maker, like, I mean, you're always gonna work in kitchens.
Yeah, but even then, sometimes you can work your way up to a different kitchen, maybe a higher quality kitchen, one that pays more.
You open
quality restaurants.
Yeah, the real dream, honestly, if you're gonna work in kitchens and have that quote unquote lower skill, open a restaurant and cook the food yourself. And then maybe you could, I mean, we've talked about this. There's pizzerias making six figures on this very premise. A pizza is $20, but the owner makes $100,000 a year take home. Do the math, like, you know, well,
that sounds like the American dream, right?
Yeah, if you have a low skill, that's the way to exploit. Even if you're highly skilled, if you can open your own spot and, you know, electrician, or open your own automotive repair center, I mean, that's where, like, you really explode. But you got to eat shit to get the skills, man. And a lot of these places will teach you. But we're told to go to college, which is another thing Elizabeth Warren's been saying this week. I saw her post on her Twitter that she said, you know, it's basically cancel student loan debt because a bunch of young kids were told to go to school. And I commented, not like it fucking matters, on Facebook.
Ryan, were you victim blaming again?
Yeah, again, I was like, what happened to personal responsibility? Now, I'll admit, I went through the generation that was pushed to school. I probably went to school because they pushed me. Did it make me a better person? Sure. Can I justify it? Debatable. But my point is I am a product of that system. But you know who chose to go? You know who signed the paperwork? You know who moved there? You know who lived?
You were so young when you signed that paperwork. Did you even know what you were signing?
Not really.
Which, by the way, can we talk about how, and I don't ever want to get into like transgender bashing because I don't really care and people can do whatever they want and it's not my choice and I really just don't give a shit. But can we talk about how all these kids who got pushed into college are not responsible enough to sign paperwork and pay back their student loans, but 6, 7, 8-year-olds are definitely mature enough to get puberty blockers and switch genders and all types of stuff. All that's good. That's fine.
Yeah, Dave. And
but at 18 years old, you're way too young to make a financial decision like taking on a loan.
They're trying to remove the term minor from our vocabulary here. And
oh, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I exactly wonder why. We could go highly extreme. But if they take the way minor away, now everybody can vote. A 2-year-old can vote for the fucking president of the United States. I mean, really, that's what happens when you start eroding these very... Once again, these are the things that were set up by our forebears, that were set up by religion, that were set up by very strict occult customs that we call a day that is fucking ludicrous, or whether it's religious or not. There was a very heavy-handed structure. Like, you didn't want sluts for daughters. You know, and now...
Yeah, those were good times.
Yeah, we worship Cardi B. Your daughter should be a slut for her husband and no one else. But we're promoting it on Instagram. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, the thing you're idolizing and trying to get back to was built by a very strict value system, and then you erode the very system that gave you the thing you're chasing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's exactly. It's just like people moving from Democrat states to Texas or to Florida, and then they put all the policies in. They just left. Well, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to get the same state you just left.
And honestly, this is like a lot of the wishful thinking with conservatism that we're like, we'll get back to our grandfathers. It's like, no, you're like, we're under attack by people that don't understand fucking our history. Like, until you, I mean, that's what we're really fighting. We're fighting people wanting free shit. People don't want freedom; they want free shit, and it's prevalent all the time. I'm not trying to like say that it's not hard. I've talked about this. If you make X amount of dollars, you're doing well. Blah blah blah. It's still hard to, but there's a lot of personal responsibility into your actions. We're all given shitty hands, man. You know, but
no. I will not allow that.
And we all have invisible privileges.
Your white privilege.
We all have invisible privilege, and you know they want to say they're based on race and stuff. Like, there's all this talk of all these race. I don't know how we don't think it's racist to criticize a whole race and a group of people when I'm told that's racism if I do it for a certain shade of people. This is ludicrous. You're breeding the very things you're saying you're trying to fix. But this is what they do when they're Marxist and communist cocksuckers. This is how they've... there was a thing, a Daily Wire shared it, that this woman came from Mao, China, and she came to some conservative meeting, and she fucking talked about how they're doing the same thing here. All these people that are attacking critical race theory, and she said that this is the same thing Mao did, except instead of attacking class, they're attacking race, because they're using our history and the negligence of our history and perspective to fucking bring down the house of cards, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All these things are just reciprocal. The China stuff, the coronavirus stuff, the cancel culture, you know, a lot of stuff we've even covered here today. It's all plugging back into this very idea, man. This is how you lose country, man.
Speaking of racist white people like yourself not wanting the brown people in, headlines. Kamala Harris was grilled on immigration and falsely claims that we've been to the border. Now, I will admit this is where politicians get tricky. She didn't lie. She said we've been to the border. We, as I'm presuming, as the Vice President of the United States, she's saying somebody from the United States has been to the border. And then when Lester,
a lot of people, isn't like everybody that lives by the border at the fucking border? What the fuck?
And then when Lester Holt grilled her, and I'll give Lester Holt credit, he did put up a fight for about 12 seconds. He said, "Well, you haven't been to the border," and she said, "Well, I haven't been to Europe either." So she's got a good point. Which also, she hasn't been to Europe. Isn't that a little weird for a? I mean, you think a vice president would be better traveled than that? I've been to Europe.
They went to G7 and they just elbows with all the fucking foreign leaders. Oh, mockery. Do you know why they make a mockery? Because a handshake is like they steal your traditions. That like a handshake is like the epitome of respect because it shows you're not armed. Like We may think of nothing in the modern era, but this for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years fucking mattered to our ancestors. That connection.
Deals were made on handshakes.
Yes, that fucking connection does not disappear biologically in your hand, and we fucking mock it with an elbow. You go there, throw elbows. They can't go to the border where people are dying in cages. I'm told the same cages. Who built
no, hold on. We've been to the border though.
We've been to, yeah. Everybody's been to the fucking border. If I look on Facebook, fuck out of here. TikTok's got alien pictures of the border. I wonder if the aliens are helping out down there. These fucking fake fucks. They're such dude. How does it make people feel that they fell for them lying about masks, that you fucking fell for UFO bullshit with some government document? That's what that was, people. Smoke screening you for your mask wearing. This is ridiculous.
Well, there will be no accountability, as always. People literally...
No accountability. The same guy, he's getting emails and fucking Facebook invites from Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen here.
Nope,
I sent the December chat from 2017. Twitter was going to sue the federal government, Donald Trump, because he was trying to get access to a private account that was very critical of attacking him on Twitter. So Trump was trying to silence that person. Twitter's like, no, we're going to sue the government, but Twitter fucking banned the president.
That seems legit.
Shit is so ridiculous, man. It's open authoritarians.
There's no bias there. That's an open platform.
Fauci meeting with Zuckerberg is like the highlight of my day right now. These guys, the fucking people that are like crafting narratives and directing all of human consciousness. I mean, it's like over half the country uses the social media every day. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to admit, since I'm on this part of the border that we've been to, I don't speak Spanish very well, so forgive me if I said this wrong. Headlines. Conservative Matt Walsh raised over $100,000 for AOC's Abuela. Maybe. Family refuses generosity to fix, quote, squalid conditions. I'm not a Spanish speaker. I believe Abuela is...
Grandma.
Grandma, is it? I thought it was grandma.
You know what this reminds me of, Dave? Has your kid ever whined for something like, I want a cookie? And they're like bugging out. You're like, no, not cookie. And then you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll give the little kid crying a cookie. You go up to give him a cookie. They're like, no, I don't want it anymore. They just wanted the attention.
I've not been through that, but I would throw the cookie right on the ground and step on it. You can throw out the ground when you want it.
Yeah, I've done all of those. But this is just them wanting attention. I mean, this proves like these people are morally bankrupt. They're riding on other people's suffering to try to change your opinion and tug on your heartstrings. It's ridiculous. Hey, she turned down $100,000
for her abuela. We've actually been pacing pretty well. We're actually not too. We're doing pretty well time wise. I got two kind of silly ones I want to get into because they just made me laugh. Headlines: Half baked lobsters doused with pot smoke to test pain during cooking.
What?
They
the lobsters high and then
they. I don't know if they put them in a car and just pop up. I don't know how they do it, but they blow smoke in the lobster's face. I guess I don't know, and then they cook it, and then they can test the pain levels with neurosensors. I'm sure we funded this somehow.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Like
U.S. researchers? I mean, would they get money from somewhere? It's us.
No, now you're sounding like the Wuhan lab that just received funding out of nowhere.
The next virus is coming from half-baked lobsters for sure.
Oh my fucking god!
Does this?
How they stuck that thing up that bat's ass and it shit out COVID?
How necessary is this testing? Just out of curiosity.
How much funding is like? I think
doesn't anyone? First of all, anyone who smokes pot will tell you that the results of this. You don't even need to do the test. Just ask somebody who smokes pot.
Why are we spending money on this? Is this to make like healthier food that the animal's less stressed when you eat it?
How do you think the lobster tastes? Do you think it changes the taste of the lobster?
I don't give a fuck. I don't eat the gross shit out of the water. I eat land animals and possibly ones that fly. That's it.
I'll say this: lobster is so good.
Ocean can fucking stay there.
Lobster is so good. I have a shellfish allergy, and I'll still eat it. It's delicious.
Don't eat that shit, Dave. Cerise swims around and we don't.
Well, you eat things that fly around, right?
Yeah, but I can fly in an airplane.
You can swim in the water. Like, what are you even talking about?
All right, moving along.
And the next one, somewhat related. Headlines: Washington State hands out free marijuana in exchange for residents getting vaccinated. The program's called...
How's this not a violation of Nuremberg trials?
The program's called Joints for Jabs. What's wrong with that? It's a voluntary exchange of joints for jabs.
You know what's hilarious to me, more funny than this headline, is that like it's showing the demographics of people that don't trust your shit. They're basically saying stoners don't trust the government. Well, no shit!
Well,
Stoners are just like, dude, there's nothing wrong with weed for like, I don't know, forever. And they're like, nah, this is as bad as heroin. And they're like, bro, it's really not. I know people that are on heroin. And they're like, nah, don't worry about it. And now all of a sudden they're like, psst, sorry, just wait, give us like 2 years and then, you know, keep doing what you're doing. This is
the biggest thing I hear from smokers is that it's supernatural and it grows in the ground and whatever, and you think you're going to convert that person to inject some chemical into their arm? Good luck.
I mean, they offered free beer and like, isn't this counterintuitive of like the anti-drug policy? Oh, I don't know, federal fucking government. Like,
oh, I don't. What are you talking about?
Just say no. I mean, our drug policies. Like, what the fuck? Weed is federally illegal. So oh my god, this is so dumb. I'm not even a lawyer, but like, somebody should call a lawyer and just call the government on hypocrisy. But they make too much money on that. Fucking cocksucker. It's so ridiculous. This doesn't surprise me, honestly. This is it is entertaining, but it doesn't
it's super
surprise
entertaining
me.
for sure.
It doesn't surprise me that they would go to these. This is just showing the people that don't fucking believe your shit.
Was Washington the state that
it's crazy?
That, like, legalized heroin and shit too, or was that Oregon? I think
Oregon.
Oregon.
It's the same area though. I mean, it might as well be.
Yeah, upper northwest.
Yeah.
Obviously, the last thing we wanted to get into. I'm sure you can guess what it is, but I mean, come on. This would be the biggest news in the world if it wasn't who it was. Headlines.
Is it a certain adjective?
Hunter Biden addressed his white lawyer as, not going to say that, multiple times, used phrases like true dat, N-word, and bantered, I only love you because you're black, in shocking texts unearthed days after Joe's emotional Tulsa speech decrying racism. I mean, I'll say this, it's likely not racism, but it's certainly things if anyone in the Trump family said this would be major news.
I wonder if Joe Biden got the saying, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, from his son.
True that, N-word.
True that. You my ninja.
I mean, the Hunter Biden stuff, I mean, I do miss the entertainment of Trump being in office, but Hunter Biden will do. Smoking Parmesan cheese crack and saying the N-word and getting so stoned he drops his laptop off at some state and forgets it's there. He's quite the character.
We're not
knocking up his dead brother's wife. I mean, these are good things. Or no, I'm sorry, sleeping with the dead brother's wife and then sleeping with a prostitute and getting her pregnant. I mean, this is good shit. Hunter Biden's he's a national treasure.
Yeah, I wonder why he's got all these problems and hidden demons.
Oh, I don't know why. Maybe his father was a pedophile. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying maybe.
I wonder, dude. Could you imagine
something like that?
You know, his dad was sniffing that forehead, dude. It's like, come here, son. You been down at Billy's again? Like, how do you know? I can smell his sister.
Smell like Parmesan cheese.
What the fuck, dude? Dude, you know what's so funny you bring up about the whole Trump thing? I get notifications on my phone about what the family first did this week, and they always reference, like, Ivanka Trump and, like, Melania, and, like, one of the Trumps is always in there. And it's like Hunter Biden smoking crack, dropping the N-bomb, banging.
It's like a small little blurb at the bottom left of the back of the newspaper.
Yeah, first of all, I'm glad the Democratic Party hasn't changed, because this guy's a modern-day fucking Kennedy right now.
Oh, he's a Kennedy all day. That guy's a rock star.
Yeah, this guy's got rubber duckies and butt plugs all over the place in his bathroom. Like, dude.
I don't know what the bigger story is. I mean, I don't think the bigger story is Hunter Biden did something stupid, because at this point, we're just used to it. And I don't even know if the bigger story is the fact that the media didn't report it, because at this point, we're used to it. But yeah, it's just insane to me that this is happening and no one's talking about it. And we talked about the Hunter Biden laptop thing. I mean, 12% of people polled said people who voted for Biden said they would not vote for Biden if they had known about the laptop.
You mean 1 out of 10 apples, David?
12%.
1 out of 10 apples.
1 out of 10 apples. And then
that's a lot of apples.
It's a lot of apples.
Every 11th apple is 1 whole bushel of apples. You fucks. Oh my god, this is so ridiculous. This is crazy.
12%.
Yeah.
12% said we voted for Biden, but we wouldn't if we knew about the Hunter Biden. And all that had to happen was somebody had to let a legitimate news source post Twitter. It's almost as if Twitter was rigging the election. Not that I would suggest that. I know we did it on social media to New Zealand. I apologize again to New Zealand.
Well, you know what it is. New Zealand knows. They know the truth.
I'll never get over this. The fact that we had a video shut down because we rigged an election in New Zealand by posting a Facebook video or a YouTube video. But Twitter took down a New York Post article during election about a candidate's son and ties to China, foreign affairs, illegal foreign affairs.
And they can measure the impact.
And they can measure the impact on a poll, and it's fine.
No, we're a publisher. We're a publisher.
The platform. They say they're a platform. But what you're talking about is what they actually are, but what they claim is the opposite.
I thought we were a publisher.
We did pretty good. 40. Hey,
we're going to sue the president because he's censoring somebody we don't like. He's trying to get that information. Hey, Trump, you're banned for 2 years.
Totally. Yeah, we did pretty good in time. 40 minutes. Not bad so far. We're about on pace.
Not bad for being a rabid bull in a china shop, my friend. Is that all you had?
That's all I had.
All right, I pretty much just got like four things here before Decemebertainment. First things first, I got a question to people. Serious question. Cuomo's coming out this weekend saying whether or not he's going to allow everything to open up if 70% or 75%, 3 out of 4 apples get vaccinated or not. It's crazy. They'll use that dude built a paper mache about a curve to make you visually understand it. You know, like these people, they're versed in psychology. This is not by coincidence. You're the Matrix people.
Well, it's interesting that 3 out of 4 apples have to be vaccinated because if you just change your policy, 1 out of 4 apples didn't even die from COVID. Actually, that math adds up. There you go.
Hey, that's 4 for 4 apples! Wouldn't that be herd immunity by default, Dave?
No, because we're using a vaccination, so that's not immunity somehow.
Okay, hold on. Let's just extrude it.
If you give everyone
10 times the amount of apples, and we'll do 40 apples. Oh, so 30 out of 40 apples got vaccinated, and
just not to get too off topic, but isn't it interesting that herd immunity isn't real unless people are vaccinated, and then it's real?
Yeah, polio's wiped off the map. Yeah, why? Because of herd immunity. Because of
vaccination.
Oh. Trust the science and the scientists.
But it's interesting because what did the vaccination do that would cause people to be immune to it?
Well, people aren't immune, David. Some people...
no, they're not. That's why they get vaccinations.
I saw a thing that a teenager died after getting the vaccine. Dun, dun, dun.
Shut it down.
Shut everything down.
Whole economy.
You know, it's crazy. They'll shut the economy down, but not go shut down the plant that makes the shit that they put in your fucking arm that has killed people.
Oh, well, that was just a minor...
But then the same government is going to tell me those big evil corporations...
Yeah, who do they think made this stuff?
They get corporate immunity too. Look at those evil people. Boy, you gave them the ability to be pricks.
Who do they think is making this stuff? Do you think it's some small town mom and pop business? It's Johnson and Johnson. It's Maduro. It's massive corporations.
God forbid we have no regulations to just let people locally figure out what remedy works.
Oh, no, surely they're regulated. Aren't they regulated?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What will we do without the government to figure it the fuck out?
It's not like the same...
People are criminal.
The same people would allow poison in baby food.
95% of all baby food has arsenic in it.
That's 9 out of 10 apples.
I would love for fact check Facebook and YouTube, Google, Gulag, whatever you're running nowadays, whatever platform you're believing. All right. Before I get too off topic here, I have a real serious question. The piece of shit governor in New York is coming out and saying that when 70% of people are vaccinated, he's going to open up the economy and everything's going to go back to normal, even though they said we're in a new normal. Just so
extremely generous of him.
Yeah, it's very nice that one man's decisions can affect, I don't know, like 10 million people, but we're told that everybody has a voice and everybody's vote matters.
His vote matters.
Isn't that like... He's choosing for 100% of the people. but we're in a democracy.
Well, no.
And we're not even a democracy, but I'm just using your terms. I love this program for that reason. I just use their words against them. Year of the Matrix, guys. I'm serious. This is the year of the Matrix. Because it's going to get stolen by Joe Rogan. You know, Joe Rogan will steal my shit again. He steals my sauce inadvertently. Maybe I speak it.
Fun fact, he is one of our subscribers.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Soon. They wouldn't let me on. Spotify would not let me on.
People familiar with the matter told me he has a hidden subscriber.
Ooh, I like that. He's a ghost watcher. All right, anyway.
Ghost watcher.
I keep going off the ragged here. I had too many beers. Heineken sponsored other people's podcasts. Not
they're not sponsors. I don't even know if you can say that.
Yeah, probably not. Shut me down. I mean, what the fuck? All right, anyways. Masks. So what's the idea here? Like, does Cuomo come out, or do these officials come out and say, okay, we're fine, no masks, everybody, 70% of people are vaccinated, we don't need masks anymore? Or is it going to be that I need to wear a mask if I don't? Like, how long are we going to keep the mask charade up? How long are we going to make this honor system? Like, how long until we're back to normal?
Well, I wish I could answer that, but I thought this would have been over a year ago, so...
I thought it was 2 weeks, right? Was that the number they gave?
Yeah, I mean, to flatten the curve, but they didn't say anything other. That was just to flatten the curve, but then 1 year to kill the curve, and then, you know, another couple of years to make sure it's killed.
This sounds awfully confusing. I wonder if you could relate the curve of COVID to the curve in inflation.
No way. That's no way. You said it was at record highs?
Yeah, 5.2. Well, since the Great Recession of 2008, you know, the mess that Barack Obama inherited from the George Bush administration. Yeah. I cannot wait for them to spin this as like a Trump problem, you know?
Oh, it definitely is. He allowed COVID to get so bad that his economy, that was definitely not at record highs at any point, tanked. And you know, I mean, the rest is history.
Yeah, and he left New York City to float, even though he put, I don't know, like a whole...
And it's not that the economy was tanked from a virus that was caused in a lab that we funded in China, that they are now covering up, according to WHO advisory board members. None of this is possibly accurate. These are all conspiracy theories.
Yeah, even though the mask doesn't prevent you from getting the size of the strain, you know, like the strain is smaller than the average mask.
Well, it depends when you're quoting Fauci and from what source you're quoting Fauci. If it's from his emails or if it's from when he was publicly speaking for.
You mean publicly speaking in front of a Senate judiciary?
$1,000 a year.
It's a shame that we broadcast court TV because it dilutes the real value of court.
Brian, did you just insinuate that he lied to Congress?
Yes, he did. He definitely did. You know how I know? Because Rand Paul put on Twitter the eyeballs. So I'm going to be glancing this way.
These are conspiracy theories. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to label them as conspiracy theories. So
even though they've all been
satire conspiracies.
I'm just meddling in foreign elections. All right. So my other the solar eclipse. I didn't. All I saw was photographs, but there was supposed to be a pretty cool eclipse around our area. If anybody caught it, awesome. I try to look up every day, catch the sky twice a day, because I try to enjoy the beauty of the world. So for real,
clouds, big,
yeah, all the
big natural clouds.
Yeah, you know, it's weird when they fly planes over the same area in the sky all day, and I'm told it's for international commerce and shit, but they shut everything.
Right, these are conspiracy theories.
Shut everything. Nobody's flying airplanes. You know, we're told that the airline industry needed all this money bailed out, but they still put 11s in the sky every day with fucking plane exhaust. Anyways, so for real, if anybody caught it, I hope that was awesome. I really try to. That's one thing that has grounded me in this crazy world. I want to bring it up to everybody that. Yeah, and then in Buffalo, apparently, maybe you too, Dave, but in 2024, we're going to be able to see a solar eclipse in totality. So it will be like the circle that you always see.
I will look into that, but I would imagine we're only a couple hours south, so we'll probably be able to see it too.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect. I think it's like in 2024 around here. One quick thing, and then I'm going to talk about an article I read, which I thought was pretty cool.
Real quick, isn't it a little weird that you're into that kind of stuff? Like, we're into it, like solar eclipses and stuff? Because we're anti-science.
Yeah, I'm super anti-science. You know, it's like how one of the reasons they know the world's round.
That's what we're told.
Who says that?
I don't know, just people. We're
people?
We're anti-science.
Just people?
Yeah, people say we're anti-science. Well, they're not reptilians.
Dave, just tell her.
Saying we're anti-science.
Just tell her we interfere in foreign elections and move along.
Yeah, yeah. We also interfere in foreign elections.
Yeah.
New Zealand. We interfered in New Zealand's foreign election with one of our videos.
So fucking.
Yeah, YouTube said we interfered, so they took the video down.
What?
Yeah, we interfered. Now, keep in mind, I want to get all the facts out there because I don't want to make it seem like YouTube's a bad place and they rush to judgment. But in the video where we meddled in foreign elections in New Zealand, we did not mention New Zealand or elections.
You just said New Zealand and elections, so this one's going to
No, this one, no, all the other ones, even the ones we've talked about this, were fine. Just that particular one, which is strange, because I'll have to go back and see which one that was to see why they removed that video, because it definitely wasn't New Zealand elections.
These fucking pieces of shit, dude.
It was probably a computer error.
Just building a... Yeah, oh, it's so convenient. Alright. So, solar eclipse was cool. D-Day was last week. We failed to mention that.
That's because you hate it, right?
I'm not going to beat it over to death, but I'm sure everybody saw the mockery that has been displaced in our military, a lot of people are saying. Now, I don't know. I don't put stock in what the president necessarily says about invasions or anything else, but I will say that Trump did give good speeches about... he was there for 75th last year.
Did you see... I have to look this up to see who it was. They equated Antifa to the people who stormed the beaches in Normandy. Oh man, who was it? Was it like NBC, CNN? It was a major news outlet.
It's just
a very reliable news outlet. It's
just such a disgrace. I mean,
they're fighting fascism in the same way that the people in D-Day did, Ryan. They're anti-fascist. They must be fighting fascism.
They're saving the world from the country that saved the world.
Yeah. Well, see, now the country's fascist.
America's
weird because
America's history is shit. It's bullshit. Oh my God, you're so brave. Just like our grandparents saving everybody when America was awesome. Remember Make America Great Again? That was racist too. The fuck out of here. These people, it's not a knock to people. I don't knock them for following. That's why I'm here, so that I can like get you pissed off in real time with all their bullshit. But like seriously, you gotta people gotta wake up to this stuff. This is not. They make a mockery of your history, but then they tell you that we should try to go back to the way things were.
Yeah, that's right.
One thing, you can't have the other. They both can't be true. They cannot double speak me. They will not Winston me. So, that will be the new JFK is going to be Winston. You're going to be Winston. Maybe that's what cancel culture should be called, as being Winston.
Well, that's a form of JFKing.
It's the highest.
It's cultural JFKing.
If a half of the globe's on the internet, when you shut somebody off there, you kill them to way more people than anything.
It's literal assassination.
It's literal social assassination. If we're saying internet is a human right, remember they've also said this.
Did we say this? Who said this?
Not us, but politicians. Internet's a right. Everybody should have it. Cuomo's making Time Warner and people, cable companies locally offer a low budget plan. I wonder who's going to pick up the extra costs.
Well,
you can only $40 and your bill's $800. Don't worry, we got the rest of that. We'll just tax the rich people.
Speaking of, how's the new super fast internet doing? Looks good on my end.
I have zero problems.
Yeah, well, you got that good quality Cuomo option.
Yeah.
It's probably 18,000 Mbps and it's like $3 a month because Cuomo said so.
My IP address starts with NWS. In all seriousness, D-Day, I don't think I need to beat this over to death. I literally have broken down here about how civil liberties are important, and it's basically literally what our forebears did just one generation ago. Like a generation that has passed. A lot of those guys are dead, obviously, but that's only one forgotten generation ago, and look at what we've forgotten about. The atrocities of the 20th century should never be forgotten. Both world wars were fought by that generation. Greatest generation in human history.
The true anti-fascists.
It's very and this is going to segue nicely into my next point. The older I get, I've always been interested. I don't know about you, David, but especially with movies, I always liked the ancient. I like 300. I like the Troy movie, Gladiator, Braveheart.
Yeah, good films.
Kingdom of Heaven. What else do I got? Really, The Patriot. All these like older movies, right? Not modern times, not the era I live, nowhere even close. Basically before any technology, basically. But fantasy, I've talked how I love fantasy. So like it's that old thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think it goes super deep into my my life and stuff. Why I like this ancient things. But I bring it up because the more that we progress into the year of the Matrix here and into the decade of the Matrix, that knowing the history of like ancient civilizations and our history and even your own personal history become ever more important. You know, like really like the idea of Western governments and democracy and like that was Greece, and it's like when you dig back, like all those movies that I reference, if you watch them, it's like all the important eras of human history. You know what I mean? Like really, like at least in the Western history, what we know, the way we always talk about the founding and the morals and civil liberties and like the core, like the good shit that what we've ended, what we changed. It's all grounded in ancient Western culture, Greece, Rome, you know, all of that shit. So with that being said, I've always found it interesting, and I came across an article in the New York Times, which was super awesome. I read a couple articles in the New York Times this past week, and it was weird because I thought one of them was fantastic journalism, and then the other one was terrible.
New York Times journalism.
Yeah, like it was.
One was good, and one was New York Times.
Yeah, and maybe this is the benefit of following it or reading a lot, or I mean, there's a lot to say about that, but it was weird, it was odd, but it was about humans and alcohol. And the one guy actually prophesized or theorized that humans started growing bread so that they, instead of eating it primarily, could make alcohol.
That was the whole reason for making bread.
The agricultural revolution was really birthed by the need for mass producing alcohol for the birth of like the growth of civilization. Then they found the other things, and now I'm not saying I subscribe to this or nothing, but I segue with the whole idea of bringing up ancient cultures because it's super fascinating to me about thinking about how we've come here, our history, and the guy in the article did a really good job on like bringing up the good and bad of alcohol, and like his main argument is like, why would we evolve to be able to handle alcohol? Like when you drink, you know, people are creative and you're loose, you're social, you're happy, you're euphoric. Like when you're in minor dose, obviously you overdo it like anything else. Mm-hmm. But why would we evolve to feel these ways if it wasn't a benefit to not only us human, but as by a society, psychology, evolutionary biology, attraction between men and women and other men and women, like. It's a really powerful question.
So counterpoint to that, and we might not know the answer to this, but is that how we evolved to behave, or is that just the natural way it makes us? And it also makes different people different, you know.
No, Dave, I think this is obviously we'll never know, but I think there's a reason we feel shame when you do something bad, right? Like it's. Unless you're a psychopath, basically, right? Like if you kill somebody, you should feel like honestly, people speak about it. They feel bad. They cry in court, like whatever unless they're a fucking psychopath, right? They don't feel empathy. We've put adjectives to these feelings, but we can't describe them. Like it's by like you feel like rip your skin off. It's deeper than anything. That's like Jordan Peterson would describe that as your being, like your spirit, basically. So like. The reason we feel these ways and the reason why you're shamed, like, it's definitely, it's all of it. It's evolutionary. It's society. Like, we've evolved around our constraints in our society and biology and like what has got, you know, just like, like we have 6 times the amount of female ancestors as we do men, meaning that very few men were sleeping with majority of the women. Now, I'm not saying that's happening now. We have the benefit of access in, you know, I said the other week that our forebears sacrificed a lot so we could reap all of the benefits at one time, and that's what the 21st century is. We have access of literally everything. I went to the store.
Well, maybe you do. You have white privilege.
Yeah, well, I went to the store, Tops, where only white people can shop. And Tops was having...
For the record, so we don't get sued by Tops, that is not their policy. They do allow people of all colors.
This is comedy. I hate I have to say it. It ruins the joke, man. So Tops had an ad that said buy one get one free on paper towels. I looked at my mom. I said, how the fuck can they have a sale on paper towels when we were out of paper towels?
Well, we have a surplus now.
Yeah. So my mom said me. She said you can go there. There isn't any there still.
Well, yeah, okay. They had such a good deal on them.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the only fucking reason. But something that killed me was I walk over and I go to the fruit aisle, and dude, there's like this crazy amount of fruit. They're all huge. They're buy one get one free, like the big packs of fruit. And it was just this common sense. This it's like this is a scarcity, but the fruit was expensive. Don't get me wrong, but like you're offering 2 for 1, like a pound of fruit. Like holy fuck for like.
I got a 2-for-1 steak deal at Tops.
See what I'm saying? Like, but there's the meat was just tagged.
They jacked up the price of the first one. So
No, they didn't do such a thing.
Yes, they
These
did.
are the normal prices of the meats, and then they allowed you to have one for free. That they don't raise the prices before a sale.
Yes, they
It's
do.
crazy that you would even
It sounds
say
like
that. That
So
sounds
let
like
me guess, one
conspiracy.
steak was $20.
No, 2 steaks were 25, and 4 steaks were 25 because they had such a good deal.
so 1 out of 4 apples cost you $7.
They were delicious steaks, though. Well, mine was good. Eve likes hers overcooked.
Oh god, I love how we talked about time.
How do you like your steak, Ryan?
If it's not pink, it's not for me, man. It's got to be medium. You know.
Medium. That's overcooked. Let me make you a steak.
All right.
No, it'll be bloody.
No, it'll be good. I'll make you a steak. You
Don't
can
do
have a
it.
cigar and some whiskey, and you can do your first pro guy misogyny podcast.
Wait,
I'll
I
be
want a
there.
cigar too.
These women want everything the men have.
Do you you literally said you're pro guy. She's like, I want to be there too. No, go outside.
Dave will
Go
you won't.
Go outside. Men are talking.
It's late.
Women have fucking everything. They buy everything. All of my money goes to women, and then I'm told that you can come and join me on my special time with my guy friends. Get the fuck out of here.
This
Women.
is just
delusion.
a window of things to come from Ryan's
This
show
is
later
fucking
this year.
delusion.
It's going to be the greatest
Women-
entertainment anyone's ever seen, except Ryan's father, of course.
Wait, Ryan.
What?
Grandma needs to be on your show with your dad, so make it happen. Stop shaking your head. No, it's happening.
Eve wants my liberal grandma to be on the show with your father.
No, I'm debating this broad before anybody else. I won't call her broad to her face. I hope she doesn't watch this.
Literally
You can. She'll slap you. She'll tell you, put your face here, and then she slaps
And
you.
she
See
slapped
what I'm
your
saying?
face in the face.
That's why I'm so straight.
I don't mind other people's opinion. Be like, yeah, you're a dumb cunt. Bam, get slapped in the face. I don't understand. Like, you can't have both.
She will slap you. She slaps hard too.
Yeah, and if I slap her, I
She's
go
got a
to
good swing for 80 plus.
yeah, I hit her, I go to jail, and I get charged with a hate crime for hitting
Dan,
her.
tell us when we can give you your shirts. When are we going to see you?
She wants to know when you want your shirts. When should we see you? I mean, the virus is still around us. Can we give it to you 6 feet away? Or are you vaccinated? Otherwise, we'll have to wear masks.
Can I get to your house and back on a tank of gas?
Unless you drive a tank, a literal tank, yes.
Hey, speaking of that, you know who Bulldozer is? Bulldozer Man or whatever?
From Tread? Did you see Tread?
No, Killdozer.
Yeah.
You
Tread
know-
on Netflix is tremendous. Anyway, this is what you're talking about. It's tremendous.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know the story from a guy I work with. But basically, a guy, he tried to live civilly. The government pushed him beyond his means, so he built a fucking indestructible tank, destroyed a whole little town village, and he basically wrote, don't make reasonable men do unreasonable things. And, yeah.
I'll say this, and I don't want to... I get the sentiment.
Spoiled fucking program. I don't care.
I get the sentiment, but at the same time, people are responsible for their actions.
Yeah, but people
he
aren't...
He had many outs. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
The story is fascinating, and I'm always against certain things, but he went a little far.
All right, I guess this is perfect for my Decemebertainment this week. All right, it was actually last week and partly this week. But last week, I forgot to mention this. I took an IQ test because I'm a
You did
narcissist.
say this in the chat.
I am a narcissist.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I spoke, I don't know, a few months ago about the Jordan Peterson IUnderstandMyself.com test, and it's basically helps you understand who you are through his test. It was only $10, so... Anyways, I listened to some Peterson, and he talked about what your IQ means for your profession. Now, as with everything, I like to entertain a lot of thoughts, doesn't mean I believe them. So I just typed in an IQ test on Google. I came across one that was relatively inexpensive, and I took it. Now, it's sad, the average is about 100, and I've ranged about 117, which is slightly above average. Now, I'm not going to constrain myself to these ideas or this certain number or try to live by any means. But I would encourage everybody to take these tests because they are cool. I have taken a test recently about algebra to try to get in the electrician union. I got accepted. I passed the test, so I'm in the next step. that besides the point. My point is, it's
Why
cool.
do they want you to know algebra for
It's about understanding mathematics for like resistance,
like ohms and volts and amps and
cross
stuff?
multiplying. You had to know PEMDAS and FOIL and be able to read graphs.
So like basic algebra, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, like 9th and 10th grade, like Algebra 1, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, nothing super nuts. Okay.
Yeah, it was just basically so that, you got to have a pulse, not downplay, they just want to show that you're teachable and you understand math. So I passed that, but my point is it was cool to challenge myself with the math test, with the IQ test, with the personality test, and I'm looking at these things in totality more than anything. And Jordan Peterson said something cool about people in my range of IQ. He said that teachers normally have this range of IQ. And
Teachers?
Teachers.
Not my experience.
Well, to say this, I thought it was kind of cool because what do we say we do here on this program? What do I say about speaking politics and religion and history in public? It's like I try to educate people in my own little selfish way, I guess. And I guess more than anything, it kind of made me, once again, just self-reflection is a powerful tool, knowing where you stand. And I use that IQ as a little thing. I've never thought that I'm better or smarter than other people, but, I do think I have some wit to me. So it was kind of cool that this bullshit number kind of did reinforce. I took more than one. I took a couple free ones as well, and they gave me the same number. I was just it was like 110 to 120, like just slightly,
Give or take a couple, yeah.
Yeah, so I took the median, whatever. So yeah, it was just one of those tools of self-reflection. Knowing where you stand in the world is powerful, because then, to further quote Peterson, you can align yourself to aim upward, which aiming up is always important. So, yeah, what are you punching in right now?
I want to see famous president IQs.
Ooh,
Curious.
This is good. And then
right.
While you're doing that, I just want to finish up quick about Decemebertainment. As you guys know, I'm a big Batman fan, and I picked up a graphic novel this week. I have not read it yet, but I just wanted to show everybody. It's a DC death metal. It's like a cool 80s. If you've ever seen the movie Heavy Metal, it's kind of like that, the art style. But I'm bringing it up because it's just it's like one of those stories that is pretty crazy. It's like a science fiction novel, and it reminds me a lot about our time that we live now, how reality's a little warped. So I look forward to the distraction this week for my Decemebertainment.
Oh, look at this list. Estimated IQs.
Yeah, somebody's up there.
Ronald Reagan, estimated IQ 130. Let's find a good one. Lyndon B. Johnson, also famous for liking the N-word, estimated IQ 127.
He's a dumb piece of shit.
Howard Taft, 126.
Now, IQs don't necessarily indicative of success, but it is like, once again, Jordan Peterson speaks about how your personality is ingrained into your nervous system, basically. It's far beyond just your mind and your environment. Like, it's your being. It's part of being. And I think there's a lot to that. That's why I bring up this looking into it all.
Ulysses S. Grant, 120. Look at this guy. Yeah, he just, helped.
They got Teddy Roosevelt on there? For those who don't know, the military developed the IQ test to see if the general population was able to, be trained and utilized by the military. And some people...
Teddy Roosevelt, 143. That dude knew what to do with his stupid-looking glasses.
I've heard things about him. I don't know. He's one of the great... seriously, like one of the last mans. That guy wrote more books than any other...
Teddy Roosevelt, was he not the one who got shot and just went on like nothing happened? Like, didn't he get shot and not know he got shot?
I don't know. Him or Andrew Jackson was notorious. They called him Old Hickory. I heard a thing about him because he was an old war veteran from the Civil War, and he was a ruthless son of a bitch. But he's a very modest president. They said he was that man's man. Indian hater, I believe. But
Theodore Roosevelt was shot in Milwaukee before his speech, and I'm pretty sure he went on to give the speech.
Yeah.
What a bad motherfucker! Are you
serious?
Robin Williams got shot and gave a speech.
This was way before modern medicine and modern firearms and things. Like, this dude just got blasted and he's like, shit, well, got a speech to do.
It's a flesh wound.
Well, what a fucking badass.
And we give participation trophies.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we have. All right, I guess that's got to be it, guys. For we're finding off what other crazy presidential stories we can ramble about. But thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Dave and Ryan from December 1773. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay locked to the channel. We drop 7 Eastern on Mondays p.m.
Yep, that's correct. Mondays p.m. Right, I'm not one to dole out responsibilities, but I might take your outros away.
Yeah, maybe you should.
I might take the outros away. I don't want to brag or anything, but the intros are on point.
I'm a good filler, bro.
You have too high IQ to do an outro. You need to be a low IQ gentleman like myself.
You need to be a repetitive son of a bitch. You know, that's got to be. I get like bored with him. Fucking structure. I can't handle it.
Ryan is not a structured individual. He likes to
I'm highly disagreeable, and that's fine. I just got to learn to get better, people. Thank you for watching. Dave, I love you. December Nation, I appreciate you. Oh, before I forget, I don't care where you live, when your voting day is. I think we all vote the same day. It's so confusing now. But you can vote for me and Dave. We're running on every political party, on every state, local, and federal board. We have 0 funding, but you can vote for us anyways. So, yeah, fuck the government.
We're doing what now?
Yeah, December Nation. The December Nation.
Sign us up to run for office?
Unofficially, yeah.
We don't even live in the same states. What are we running for?
All of it. Supreme Court, down clerk, fucking dog catcher, fish counter.
Hold on, Eve sent something. Is this?
It made me laugh because I thought it was funny.
Hold on. Before we end the show, let's see what Eve sent us.
It's a women said it's not funny.
Obviously,
women don't have the same.
Oh, you're just laughing at what Spike Cohen said in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I saw that. So basically, Spike Cohen, who ran as the vice president of the Libertarian Party to Joe Jorgensen, was just responding on a CNN post. Which, by the way, Spike Cohen's all over social media. He's on every one of these things.
His memes are on point.
But he's just talking about the border crisis and who caused the border crisis. I don't know. Maybe it was the
who built the cages, Joe.
Maybe it's the idiot in California enforcing strict drug policies. I can't imagine that's causing drug lords in Mexico to run over the country. It's kind of weird. Maybe it was the 1994 crime bill that Joe Biden co-sponsored. I don't know. Maybe it's some of these things. Who knows?
Well, apparently those people, we need to fix the systemic root problem of why they're fleeing the country. Like
the systemic root problem is them. We have evidence and proof. Can we fix it?
Oh, you're getting a kick out of this too. It was just somebody just posted on Facebook. You know how like they post the charge things where you can see where people get in trouble, like the police reports?
Sure, yeah.
So some lady got arrested because she had over 1,000 unstamped cigarettes from the reservation.
That son of a bitch.
Isn't that
Were they menthol too?
We gotta shut that.
Were they menthol?
Isn't that insane?
What's a reservation?
Didn't we talk about this on the show? Smuggling menthol cigarettes from the res?
Yeah.
The res is not going to give a shit what anybody says.
I used to.
As they should.
My friends used to buy cigarettes at like 15, bro.
Sure, who cares?
Yeah, who gives a fuck? The Indian was like,
I'm just selling them on reservation. I'll sell them to whoever comes in with money.
They wanted to kill us fucking land stealers. Even though we're all natives because we're all born in the same.
It's their fault for not having herd immunity to smallpox.
And also not having.
Not my fault.
Built. It's their fault for not having innovation. Shame on your bow and arrows.
Fucking Long Bull should have had the vaccination for smallpox. Not my fault, guy.
This is going to be, they say Jordan Peterson's a white supremacist. Just wait until they look at our analytics. There's not going to be one person of color identified in the picture. Yeah, all right, December Nation. Dave and I running. Just fucking, you're casting your vote away anyways. I'm fucking running on everything, dude. Fuck them. Fuck the government. Yeah.
Not in a physical way, though.
No. If you can't bend over the government, bend the government over. They bent you over. So, this has been Dave and Ryan, December 1773. Thank you all. Tune in, subscribe. This is the last outro I'll ever do. So,
probably.
Enjoy.
Probably because the videos are going to get taken down after you start talking.
Hey, what? Yo, Eve and I need to have, I think Eve's the perfect one for me. I'll interview Eve for my first podcast. All right,
on the Misogyny Pro Guy podcast, you want to interview Eve.
Do it. You won't.
He will, for sure.
I'm going to slap her metaphorically.
Well, we're out.
Later.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed the show, because this is our last.